Hello, friends, and welcome to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. With the holidays a-comin' and Christmas on the way, well, I thought we would make us a good old-fashioned country ham here on the farm, Adam style, with a Hawaiian flair. So stay tuned. For over 145 years, the heart of my family's farmhouse has been the kitchen. It's where stories, food, and traditions have been passed down through generations. Join me as we create new memories, one dish at a time. Welcome to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. Well, welcome back here at Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen, and we're going to get started on our country ham, Adam style. So, what we're going to need to do first is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to, first of all, be scoring the ham, and then we're going to be cloving it, and then we're going to sweat it in the oven for about 45 minutes in a covered pan, and then we'll take the top off and add our delicious glaze. And then right at the end, about 15 minutes before the ham's finished, we'll add our beautiful cherries and pineapple slices. And then we'll do the plate presentation. So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to start off by scoring the ham. And we want to do some pretty deep scores. So it's going to be sort of a crisscross. So we have our really sharp knife here. And we're going to start, and we're going to just kind of go like that right into the ham. Just like this. And as this cooks in the oven, it's going to sort of bust open. It's what they call sweating the ham. Now this is a pre-cooked superior tavern style ham. And these are so delicious. This is a 20-pound ham. Now you can do a half a ham if you like. I prefer the boneless, but you can get with the bone in if you want to. So you can see there how we are scoring the ham and cutting it down pretty deep, crisscross, like so. And this is going to be so delicious. The whole house is going to smell like baked ham and cloves. And there's nothing better than the smell of a baked ham cooking in the oven. So now we're going to do the cloving process. And we're going to add our cloves. We're going to put these in. And we're going to stick these all over the ham. Just like so. And it is so delicious. It really is. The flavor of the cloves go into the ham. And then when we do this delicious glaze later on, it's going to be so beautiful. It'll add this elegant shine to your ham. And then I'll show you how to do a pretty plate presentation at the end, so you can impress all of your guests and your company that's a coming. So we're just going to do this, and we will get the ham cloved up here, and then we'll be back, and we're going to then get it in the oven to sweat it. All right, we're back now, and we've got our country ham all cloved up, and now we're going to put it in a covered pan. And I've got Granny's old roasting pan here, and it may not be very pretty, but it sure does get the job done. So we're going to put our ham into this roasting pan, and I have lined it with aluminum foil. And this really helps keep things from sticking and all of that and burning. And at the end, you can just pull the foil out, and you don't have so much of a mess to clean up. So I've got these little risers in here too, to kind of keep the ham up off the base of the cooking pan. So now we're going to put our ham, this beautiful 20-pound ham, into our container here, our cooking pan. And what we're going to do is put the lid on top, and this is going to go in the oven for about 45 minutes while we sweat it, and it's going to bust open and be beautiful and juicy. And then we're going to get the glaze ready next, and then that will go on the ham. So stay tuned. All right, well, while our ham is in the oven, we're going to make the perfect glaze. And this is just the best glaze. I've used this for years on my country hams. So we're going to start off. It's very simple. We're going to first use 1 pound of light brown sugar, or 2 1/3 cups. So that's going to go into a mixing bowl, just like that. And then we're going to add about a couple of tablespoons of a classic yellow mustard. And you really don't need to measure this. I would say roughly a couple tablespoons, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add probably about a couple tablespoons or so of pineapple juice. Next, we're going to add just a little splash of ginger soda. You don't want your glaze to be too soupy, so we're going to see if we need to add any more. You want it to be pretty thick, because when you pour it over the ham, you want it to stick really well. So I think we need just a little bit more ginger soda. Now you can use a ginger ale if you like, but I prefer a ginger soda. So you can see there, we've got our glaze, and I think we need a little bit more. You don't want to go too heavy-handed on the soda, because like I said, you want it to be sort of thick, so when we pour it over that ham, it's going to really stick well to the exterior of the ham. So, and we want to make sure and get all of the lumps out of there. I think maybe just a spot more. And you can see there, that's about the consistency you want. We've got all of our lumps out of there. And now we're just going to set this on the side. And when our ham is ready, we will add the glaze. All right, well, our ham has been in the oven for about an hour now. I left it in a little bit longer. And we're going to take a look here. So we sweated it. And now we're going to get ready and put our glaze on. So look at that. Our beautiful country ham. And boy, it smells good. So we're finished with the lid. We won't need it anymore. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glaze the ham. And we've got our beautiful glaze that we made earlier. And what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of put this over the ham and let it run down into it. You can see there how the ham has busted open some. So right now we're just going to pour this right over the top. This beautiful glaze. And if you got a basting brush, you could use that. But I'm going to use this spatula if I need to move some of it around. And get that all over the ham. All right, so we've got all of our glaze on the ham. And now we're going to put this back in the oven, and about every 20 minutes for about an hour, we're going to baste it. And then we'll put our beautiful cherries and pineapple garnish on right towards the end. All right, well, we're back now, and our beautiful country ham is out of the oven. Look at this. We've glazed it, and it just absolutely smells wonderful. So now we're going to add the finishing touch, our beautiful maraschino cherries with our pineapple rings. And I usually use a round toothpick for this. What I'll do is I'll sort of place the pineapple around like this. And you can put on there however much you want. And this really, really makes it look pretty. So we'll put our pineapple rings around like this. And then we'll finish it off with a cherry here in a second. So now I've took our maraschino cherries, and I like to dry these off a little bit. So we're going to put our cherry right on the end of our toothpick like that. All right, so we've got our cherries back on there. And you can use a brush if you want to, but I'm going to just gently get a little bit of this glaze and juice here in the bottom of the pan. I've just got a little, and I'm going to just pour a little bit of that over top of our pineapples and cherries. I'm going to glaze those really good. And boy, it sure does smell good. A little bit of glaze on there. Alrighty, so that looks good. We're gonna pop this back in the oven for about another 15 minutes, and then our ham's gonna be finished. We're gonna let it set and rest a little while, and then we're gonna put it on our platter and make it really beautiful. A beautiful presentation for our country cooked ham. All right, well, now we're going to get ready and we're going to plate up our beautiful country ham. So I've got this beautiful old platter. This is around pre-Civil War, and it's perfect for presenting a ham on. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and get our ham out of the pan. It's cooled down enough to handle, and so we're going to put that on the platter first. And what I'm probably going to do is put a little piece of, we have two different types of garnishments. These are really inexpensive as well. These are mustard greens, and then we also have our kale, which look beautiful and are inexpensive. So anybody can afford a beautiful garnishment like this. I'm going to put a piece like that so the ham doesn't slide around. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the ham and we're going to put it here on the platter. So there's our beautiful country ham. Didn't that turn out so pretty? All right, so let me grab a towel here real quick. Always got to have your towel handy in the kitchen. So, all right, so we've got our platter here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this kale and sort of, actually, I'm going to do the mustard greens first. We're going to take some of this and we're going to put it around the edges of the platter, like so. And you can kind of break off some pieces there if you need to. Whatever you have to do to make it look pretty. And everyone is going to ooh and awe when they see this beautiful ham. So we've got some mustard greens there. And then we're going to put some all the way around the platter. And then what we're going to do is we'll take a little bit of kale to give it a little bit of extra green color. And we're going to put this around the platter as well for some beautiful garnishment. I remember growing up here on the farm as a little boy, we used to actually raise our own hogs and we would cure our own meats and all of that. And when I was a little boy, I used to actually play out in the hog pen. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old, I remember one day. And I was out in the pig pen playing with the pigs, as most little country boys do. And one of the pigs bit me on the calf. And I was scared to death. And so I came running in the house. And I told my grandma, I said, Granny, Granny, I said, the pig bit me. And she teased me for a few days. And she said, now, you know, Adam, that pig's toot's going to be in your leg the rest of your life. And I never did forget that. All right, so there we have all of our beautiful greens on the platter. And we're going to give this a little bit of a Hawaiian style flair now. So I want to do one more garnishment, which is really easy to do. We have another blood orange here. And I'm going to just cut the ends off just a little bit, like so. And then I've got a little paring knife here. And what we're going to do, this will add a really pretty color to the platter, is we're going to start right in the middle and kind of go right to the inside. And we're going to do a crisscross, just like this, right around the middle of the orange. This is a really simple garnishment, and it looks really pretty. So this here will just come right apart like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stick a cherry right in the middle, just like that. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to put that right on the edge of the platter. And we'll put one over here on this side as well. See how pretty that is and how simple it was to make. All right, so we're almost done. And what we're going to do is we're going to give this ham a Hawaiian style flair now. So we've got our little, actually first what I'm going to do is take a little bit of coconut, just a handful or so. It doesn't take much. And we're going to sprinkle this right over the top of the ham, so it looks like fresh fallen snow. And then we're going to take our little umbrellas, stick in there, just like so, all over the ham. Now you don't have to do the umbrellas, but I think it looks really cute. Just like that. And there you have it, our baked country ham. I hope that you all will give this a try during the holidays. And now you can see just how easy it can be and how you can make it really pretty. Adam's Hawaiian style ham with a flair.